Welcome to Riverbend Talon on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Thursday night in the Riverbend Talent on the air, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance. He's also sponsoring the Sea Shanty Sing-Along that's going on down at Morrison's Irish Pub tonight at 6 o'clock. Well, that's what time it is now, so it'll be going on until 9 o'clock. Open mic usually down at the conservatory on a Thursday night, hit or miss. Cross the line underway at Past Eddie's until 10. Joey Miner of the Well Hungarians already underway. Up at George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville, he'll go till 9 o'clock. Jared Lutz underway at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville until 9. Steve Kern underway at the Peel Woodfire Pizza in Edwardsville until 9 o'clock. Matt Heaton underway at the Cabin at Judy Creek until 9. Omega Music has an open jam, usually on Thursday nights. That's down in Granite City at Elgato Tavern. Lindsay K. started at 5:30 at the Prairie Inn in Dorothy, goes until 8:30. Open mic hosted by Spencer McDowell tonight up in Staunton at the Mississippi Culture from 6:30 until 9:30. And the band Feel, we follow them. They are in Indianapolis, Indiana. And now, what you've all been waiting for. Jay Hollinger's here tonight.
We're going to lead like that, are we?
Here we go. 2 weeks in a row on that one.
Usually I introduce
right on
him
over
as
like
the
that.
star of the show.
The band Feel, though, yeah, shout out.
For sure.
So before we jump in here, we're gonna jump in with Jay Hollinger here. But first, I got to say, Matt Van Voorhis, our sponsor. I was in his office today, and man, just what a sexy guy. You know,
Stubblefield.
Oh yeah, well,
that's where
dude, you said it right there. That like anyone who was around in that era and was paying attention to local bands, they were one of those.
Yeah.
And so here's the other thing. I'm going to say, how dead sexy Matt V is, and if anyone needs insurance, that's your man. He's just
Matty
a straight.
V.
He's a straight shooter. Bringing up Stubblefield, Matt Tall saw his new band over the weekend with his son Max in it, and out of sight, man.
Yeah, I got to jam with them. They're good pocket little band going there in the pocket with the drum and bass. They're buddies and stuff. That's what you want, and it's cool to see Max doing that now. I saw him grow up. From all the years of hanging with Matt and stuff. So yeah, shout out to those guys for sure. Love Matt.
Yeah, and I mean, as I was watching, I thought, wow, I wish one of my kids would say, "Hey, Dad, I want to play in a band. Show me how to play an instrument. Let's do this thing." And I'm looking at it. He's been playing with Phil for quite a while. Phil's been hanging with him for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So them two meld very well or whatever. Now he's got his son and his son's buddy playing drums. And I'm gonna tell you what, that kid playing drums, I forgot his name. I forget his name right off the bat. I just met him the other day, but.
Shout out to him anyway. He's an awesome kid.
He's a good drummer too, because he had this great way of flipping the beat upside down without you really knowing it. And it's
well, Matt's a seasoned vet too, so it's nice to have that. How does that hurt?
Yeah.
And he's got a cool little studio, so we went down into his basement. Now Matt's he's got the full sound set up, so we all jammed with those guys. That was fun. But they were testing out their new lighting system too. So Matt's got like the cool Pink Floyd laser show. I mean, as you should after being grinding it out for 30 years around here.
If I have nothing else to show, I have a lot of equipment.
That's it.
Well, you saw it the other last weekend down at Earth Tones. We brought it all out of the garage for a hot minute.
And shout out to Sean too for helping me with the power adapter down there. I had a drone issue in the 11th hour, and it started raining and stuff. So I really appreciate you letting me charge my stuff.
Oh man,
seriously,
look. First of all, let's all remember we're all in this together.
Yeah.
So,
I'm glad I know him right now. Oh my gosh.
I was happy to help at that moment, but man, you had. So Jay Hollinger, like you introduced him, and then we I jumped into the Matt V thing because I couldn't help it.
Always.
But Jay Hollinger is our guest here. If you didn't catch that, folks, we're sitting here with Jay, and
I was surprised by the phone call.
There's quite a few bands that this guy he's just everywhere. So we're gonna get into all of that, but real quick, talking about the drone situation. Tell me that that was a nightmare for you that
It was
day.
one of those days, yeah.
Some days you can't win.
I should have wrote a list.
Right.
Should have wrote a list. I didn't write a list.
You were kind of telling me as we walked in. How did that go again? You came down
Just
with a drone.
3 trips in total, walking up the back grass seating area hill to get my drone up into the air, and it required 3 trips home to get the necessary equipment, let's just say, by the end of the day. And then and when I got it down there is when I met you down there. It started raining once I got it put together and ready to go. Oh. So you let me charge my 3 batteries, which I used all 3 of those, though. So you gave me the juice. I appreciate the juice.
Nice. So 3.
And that, for our listeners, is Mississippi Earth Tones Festival.
Yeah.
What you guys are talking
about. I
Shout out,
forget what we're doing here. Well, this is a radio show. I'm not professional. Anyway, so thanks,
I'm the
Dennis.
reminder guy.
The journalist and the jackass. Here we are.
Hey, add another one of those to that part of the list, I would say. Here.
So
I'm more the listener. I just listen to you.
You got it pegged.
Right.
To just to bounce back to Matt V. When I was up there, he said he said, hey, me and my wife Julie, we'll take a cruise and listen to a show because you can just pull it up and listen at any time. And he's like, more fake news. And I said, well, everything I say is fake news. I think just because we don't call it that, you got to pay attention, son.
Right.
It's all. So anyway, so seriously, that was an awesome event down there. Big successes.
Shout out to Sarah. Sarah McGivney. Yep. Way to go.
That's one of those events that every year is just like, wow, another good one. And I'm going to tell you what, the any major dudes that play down there.
Yeah.
Out of sight.
Yeah, ripping guitar player I saw noticed too. Both of them actually.
But I was going to say Francis, but both of those cats.
Francis can play. He's got his own. I met him at the old TV station I worked at, STL TV across the river. It was the government access station for St. Louis. So I think we had their band on or something. So that's how I'd known him. So I recognized when I went down there. But yeah, his lead guitar player for the songs that they were picking and stuff. Ripping.
The horns, the vocals, everything was.
I think they closed with Peg. Come back to me. Oh yeah, they were ripping. Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a tough thing to tackle right there.
Oh yeah.
That's jazz, and jazz is what you play when you don't want a lot of a big audience.
That's the thing. You got to watch what you name yourself. So if you're claiming that stuff, people are listening a little more when it's like that. So that's why we kind of play with the Wherehouse. We go left or right. You can't lock us in on that one. But
I said that to Francis as he showed up, and I said, "Hey, let me tell you something. I'm a Steely Dan fan, so you better bring it. Yeah, you better bring it, man. You can't say we're going to do Steely Dan and then not do it right." And they did. It was
it's like saying you're going to play Sweet Child of Mine, and you don't know the solo. Like, come on, come on. Now, there's not a whole lot of room for improv on this. So some of that they did their homework. You could tell those guys were awesome.
So you bring up Guns N' Roses. How old were you when you found out Slash wasn't real? He's just like a feeling that we all have. I mean, he can't be at every mall at once like that.
Right. So. Yeah. Shout out to Slash.
So Jay Hollinger, you brought up the Warehouse project. That is sort of your main.
My boys. Yeah.
I mean, you've been with those guys for a hot minute.
26, 27 years this year. So pretty straight on. We've all had kids and had family stuff and had other things, and everybody's always made time to shout out to Jeff Walker and Brian McKinney and Waylon Schroeder, Michael Frazier when we get him, solid dudes, solid musicians. Yeah, and we've had, I don't know, last couple months we've gotten to play. Kind of came to we got some more stuff coming out here probably soon, but we just got off like five or six pretty good shows. The flea market, the night market was fun this year.
Yeah.
So
and what a great setup down there.
Oh, yeah.
The new setup for the night market.
Same as the Earth Tones, there's something to be said with organization and when stuff.
Yeah. But just specifically speaking, I like the Pocket Park, and I like the fact that it was right there at Jacob. But you could drive down Broadway and miss it. You go, what was that I just passed? Down where it was at between Cat Daddy's and Shea. It was a more comfortable setting. It was part of the downtown. It felt it felt bigger and more.
Yeah, it just looked festive.
As soon as you walk out the doors here, you could see the tents behind the stage from here. You know what I mean? And at the Pocket Park, it was fun. It was a great little spot, but it was kind of tucked in this area that if you didn't know it was there, you almost didn't know it was there. You know. It is so I'm really happy to see that move down there, and hopefully that's going to continue.
Yeah, we had Frazier we had Michael Frazier, our piano player extraordinaire. He's a busy guy, but when we can have Frage in the mix, we can pull off fun Riders of the Storms and The Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby and some Ben Folds 5 stuff where Frazier just hits. I mean, in your ears when you got the earphones on and like your ear monitors going, it sounds like a CD. I mean, like it's amazing. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So you guys do in-ear monitors?
Sometimes Waylon and I will actually share a mix. If we want to like talk tech setup. It's kind of cool. Jeff has a pretty easy drum setup with his cables organized and in like a snake setup, so Jeff can get drums set up pretty quick. And Brian McKinney is amazing and super generous with always taking care of our sound setup. So Brian's got all the equipment that would run any in-ear monitor mixes, any guests that would come up. We got room for, and just pro mentality. He runs Hathaway Hall at Lewis and Clark, and for 25 years on top of that. So he's run sound for Alison Krauss and anybody that's come there. Brian McKinney's amazing with that, so we're super lucky. And Waylon and I will share a monitor sometimes at like Baker's and Hale or something like that. Share a monitor mix, and the Walker uses in ears. Brian sometimes does both, and
Well, you had mentioned the headphones, and
I'm kind of back and forth.
Yeah, so I'm actually the same way. I really want to do in ears because when it's right, it is so perfect. But when it's just a little bit off, it's it's twice as annoying as a monitor being a little bit off because it's in your head.
It's in your brain.
It's in your brain, and it's
like a boost. If your boost is wrong, like on a guitar, like electric guitar is always that's usually the decider. If we're going to play like an acoustic, we've done Baker's and Hale where we did a 3-piece acoustic, and I wore my in-ears, and man, it was a great show. There's not a lot of clutter, but when the electric gets in there, and you're trying to boost the solo, and something doesn't sound, but once you know that it's when you have a sound guy that can say, hey, out here it sounds great, then you're calm up there. If then you know that I don't have to compensate for anything. So
right. Well, and like the guitar boost that you speak of, we all know that a guy's playing guitar and he hits that overdrive and it boosts it a little bit. Then he hits a second overdrive to really kick it in. Well, now it's another boost, and pretty soon it's like, whoa, bro, hey, you're screaming at us.
Waylon will let me know pretty quick when it's like he's like, hey, turn that down. Okay.
You're screaming at us, man.
Yeah.
But have you tried like the Helix? That you know what I mean, like the it's just a pedal board. It's got everything built into it.
Oh, the processor.
Like the Line 6 is called the Helix.
I thought you were talking about the hairband.
Right.
Ricky's favorite band.
Right.
Oh yeah, man. You kidding
Sorry.
me? That's good music.
I had to go there.
What about Kim Mitchell?
M-N-R.
O-C-K.
Okay.
Well, I've seen some of the Nashville guys and that we've like opened up for, and like other bands that I play in and stuff, like maybe some touring acts, seeing how they come in off the road with what they're doing. And some of them are so based off their tracks and their in-ears that they'll use those line out amps like Kemp.
Yeah, there's a few different versions of them, but it's basically just a pedal board that sends the signal out, and everything's built into it. But one of the great things about it, because I'm playing with a guy who Gabe, my buddy Gabe's been using one, and he can keep that dB. If he wants to keep stacking overdrives to change the distortion, he can keep that decibel level from creeping up anymore.
You're more doing like a tone change. You're creating a tone versus
because volume. He knows with the in-ears, boy, if you jump up, you're really hurting us, So it gives a lot more control. Is the only reason I bring it up. Is that it is.
I'm an old road warrior, so when it comes to that now, so I just keep a 57 and a stand in the guitar bag and try to get as I was always a fan. I've played a Martin, man, since 2006. Old Marty that I bring out, like doing solo gigs and stuff. I've played that guitar the most probably forever, and when you can get that just to sound like a guitar. That to me is the, you know, when you don't have the coloration with something. They've come a long way with the pedals now on how they, you know, definite improvements and stuff. So I think it's just more of a taste thing and whatever, I guess, or whatever with me. I just love the sound of a mic'd amp. Yeah. But if you know how to, but you also got to be relative, and we're lucky to have Brian, people that know how to control that stuff. Well, then you can do those routes, you know, too. But yeah, it sure would be easy to just take a line out of a pedal. If you know if you're good to go, then that's props. You know, like Jason Gordon. Oh,
gross. It's just gross, man. Right. It's just gross.
Doesn't matter if it's line out, if it's mic'd or whatever. He's equally dangerous when it comes to that. So it was cool to see Jason, but like that takes a lot too of sound crafting and stuff. So you know, it's crazy on paying attention to other people's setups, what's involved with that.
He has the most complicated setup of anybody I know, and he probably does more gigs than most people that
Road
I
warrior.
know. He's literally out there doing it, and
shout out to Gordo for sure.
Yep, I love Gordo. It was awesome to see him.
I mean, since the Sneaky Pete days for us. I mean, we go when Jason was around here. I mean, it's cool to see everybody where they've gone in almost 30 years now, really.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and that's Sneaky Pete, man. That's a blast. That's a blast back right there.
Wow.
What a great unit that was, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Undecided was one that I followed. I mean, if you want to talk about like guitar mentor number one is Paul Steinbrück, like around here. That guy. Unreal musician.
Absolutely, and he would do it. So on stage, he would make the great guitar faces, which you know.
Oh,
you got to when you're feeling it. First of all, every note should have some emotion attached to it. Or what are we doing? But he would show it in his face, but then he would also have this like sometimes just laughing about
That's how easy it is for him. Like that.
Well, like I look at Louis Armstrong laughing while he sings like that. I'm like, how are you doing?
Carter Beauford playing the drums, blowing a bubble.
Just giggling like it's
not full roll. Like,
come on, man.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. So Vinny Caliuti.
Shout out to the Undecided for sure though. I think they just finished there. Was it 40 years?
So they were just in here a few weeks talking about it, but my brain
I hired
doesn't
them.
Remember
I was
exactly.
part of the committee in 8th grade. We went to St. Ambrose Catholic School, where I went to grade school, and we were able to hire them for our 8th grade graduation party, which was at Marquette's gym. Yeah. So we had the full Undecided band in 8th grade. That was my first T-shirt. It was like the Undecided T-shirt.
What year are we talking?
89.
89. So that
really,
was this. I was going to say that was those were some solid years because the
90. Yeah, 89, 90.
Yeah, but right in there you had that. That was some solid years with those boys because that
Donnie Sandage and I mean.
Well, like you say, I still remember we were talking about it when they were here the other day. I still remember hearing, because I was already hanging with them and everything, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh, Paul Steinbrück's joining the band," and I didn't know. I'm like, so. You guys are, and as soon as I saw him play as soon as I saw him, I went, oh wow, this is another level.
Oh,
this is a different level from what any of us are doing.
Hey, I mean, I've been following them.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily to be good friends with Paul now, and since then, I followed them around, and Paul's always been real kind with like explaining stuff and guitar stuff to me because he's got the musical knowledge, and actually plays that exact instrument versus, somebody maybe has music knowledge and is on trumpet or something,
right.
But not that it's any less, but real-time explanations and like generous with time and stuff. So if I'm any way good, Paul and watching Bobby Etley and those guys, like that's who I want, and Matt,
right.
So.
Yeah, I remember seeing Paul play Eruption on a keyboard. And I'm like,
this. He played on kazoo, right?
I'm like, wait, this is ridiculous. It's one thing that you've memorized it on guitar, you've memorized these things, but now
you play Eruption on a cigarette, right?
Yeah. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Sickening guitar player. Very, and like I always thought of Paul as like also one of the like after like being a fan of like session players and knowing who plays on albums and the people that you're actually hearing. Paul would be one of those guys. Like that would be a guy somebody would call to go out on tour and know that would be able to, do exactly as a pro.
He speaks the language. He's and
it's another language. That's why I have him interpret.
Yeah.
He's so kind, patient with the interpretation of what he's saying. Oh, it's just right here. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, say it again.
Yeah, right.
Say it again slower, bro. So, man, Jay Hollinger is our guest. We barely talked about the Warehouse project. We keep getting off track here.
Hey, man, love those guys. We'll probably, I think we'll have a ranch house gig at the end of February. So I know that we usually do like once a year and just
nice.
Side of WHP with a side of ranch. Sometimes we'll get some buddies that come out, and play. But yeah, it's been great. Waylon and Jeff and Brian and Frazier, class act dudes and great musicians. Great hangs always, laughs and two, and like almost 30, closer to 30 years with us. So it's pretty thankful for that whole situation. That is.
Well, and you just said a mouthful there with great hangs, great laughs, because truly when you get the right group of people in a room, the musical outcome is less important than the fact that we're all here entertaining each other, swapping stories, making life a little more pleasurable than if we weren't all here in this room together doing this thing,
You got it. And sometimes that's the most time you get to see him, maybe that week, or it's been a couple weeks too, because of, just life, and everybody's got kids and soccer games and all the sports and all the fun stuff. So it's that whole part of it is always a laugh. We always try to stick around and get some laughs. If you've ever hung out with like Jeff, or you get Waylon on a tangent, it's a pretty good one. Like you had a pretty good one at Baker's and Hale the other night, so it was pretty fun.
So like Dennis has brought it up, where you can be in a band with somebody and barely know them because they show
speak
up
like this. They just speak an instrument sometimes.
You show up and all you have time for is to do this music thing, and you want to get as much of it in as you can. And so you play till the last second where it's like, I got to go home. I got work in the morning, or somebody's got something to do, and so you don't really get down to know each other. Sometimes you just know each other musically more than and it is nice when you have that time to really just sit and laugh and tell stories, talk about life, and and whatever.
You hit it on the head that there's like the other side of that, where it is run and gun, where like at the honky tonk, when we do the Outsiders stuff and whatever, sometimes it's coming in hots and hey, what's up? And it's sound check and go. Yeah. Okay, this and then just calling out songs. So you're just improvising something, not improvising, but at some times just everybody improvising a request, just to kind of keep it Nashville request style, keeps it fun and stuff. Get the practice the chops.
So you brought up the Outsiders right there. That's another band you're in, the Outsiders.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about the Outsiders.
Man, we've been lucky we played in an event band called the Blacktop Boulevard, and it was Tommy Patton on drums and running the band, and Cody Cox and Connor Coffey on the Connor on fiddle and Cody on bass, and a buddy Anthony Nanny joined in with us on that. Anthony's an awesome dude and a great friend, super another crazy talented musician, even better person. But we made this band. We were able to play at the Honky Tonk in St. Louis, so it's pretty cool. Country Place, JB and Ryan run it, and they've been super awesome for what I've luckily seen over 5 years of playing there. Is just music friendly, like that. More of that in the world is great when you get that true appreciation. They'll pay you as much as they can, and it's always a great time, and people come out. And I'm not the most country guy in the world, but I am from Mississippi and stuff. My family comes from a farm down there, so I've luckily spent a lot of time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What
There's no two-story buildings. That's what's the funny thing. There's a lot of ranch style houses, but all my cousins are farmers and stuff. And
where at Mississippi?
Crossroads, bro.
It'd be Shaw, Mississippi, is where my mom is from. She was born on a farm in Shaw, which was right now probably about 2.5 south of Memphis.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So a little bit north.
I spent a lot of time in Grenada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crappie fishing.
Yeah, Leland is around there, and Greenville. That's the bigger town. My family was from Greenville, Mississippi. So, so I got my country roots. I grew up watching Hee Haw. I got appreciation for a lot of that, and so we played in this band, and we had during COVID, our singer Justin ended up tragically passing away in a just a freak accident, and so we kind of kept this band going through the years. Now a couple of the guys are playing in other acts too. Connor plays in a band called Bobby Ford Band, awesome country event, band and stuff. But Anthony's, Nanny's still in it. And we've, it's just been kind of a cool, back to your point, kind of like, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in 3 weeks. Noah, we was young Noah Messi. That's, it's a little cool kid, 23 years old, singer, but can nail some songs and stuff. So, it's been, we have a pedal steel player, Scott Schwartz. I met Scott playing in the Hen River Sweet Band, recording that album and stuff. So, yeah, it's just we're every third Saturday of the month, whatever the Saturday is, at the Honky Tonk in St. Louis. So, shout out to our buddy Justin, rest in peace. That's they're classy people there too. They have like a lot of Cardinal gear and country western stuff. And then there's in the music room there's a canvas of Justin, singing and stuff. So
nice.
Pretty awesome. It's cool to see him from stage when you're playing and stuff. So yeah. So we've been lucky to continue that. That was during the end of COVID. So we've done about 5 years of that, and JB and Ryan are kind enough to have us around, just
nice
throwing out little songs and practicing country riffs.
And that's like right behind the Broadway Oyster Bar, across
Correct.
the street from the back parking lot of
Correct.
Broadway Oyster Bar there. So, a couple blocks from the stadium. It's not far.
Yeah.
It's right in the pocket down there of a lot of happenings.
It would be neat. I found out one time just by looking out in the crowd, if I'm not got my eyes closed or getting blinded. My buddy Ryan Wilhite was standing right in front. It was, whoa! I'm like, what are you? We're across the street, So they, for a while there, we were doing every third Saturday. So on breaks, I was able to luckily go catch some Jake's leg,
right?
And then head back and play country. But it caught me off guard seeing Ryan up front row. Like,
what are you doing
hey, what's
here,
up? Like,
man?
what? Yeah, super.
You should be working, bro.
Shout out to Ryan. Yeah,
absolutely,
buddy
absolutely.
Ryan. Great drummer, good person.
Man, there you go. The Outsiders is a honky tonk band that as we were describing, more of one of these like, hey, good to see you. You look good. Shit, all right, let's play. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Right. Here we go, boys. You know what, floppy or mule? In the key of A minor.
And it's kind of, and that I would say for me personally, that's a fun part about it, because there's the test of like all the years of hanging around the Pauls and paying attention and trying to, here's what you got, improv a song maybe, or, seeing what you can get away with. And, when they used to say, learning when not to play is the best advice, out there that I've noticed. So, which is, makes you find that volume knob a little more, when you need it and stuff, and not realizing you need to be out so loud and stuff. So, but, it's a fun like test of your A game, whatever you can to, playing songs like Eastbound and Down and Jerry Reed solos and stuff.
Yeah,
third song in,
right
no
there.
warm up. It's a good test. So yeah.
Hey, loaded up and trucking.
Right.
So
the wheels fall off the truck sometimes.
Oh man, but that so like you're talking about not playing. There's another part where it's don't play so many notes. Just chill out a little bit. But the thing is, you have to have a tone that you like. Because if you're unhappy with your tone, you just keep moving on, trying to get past it.
It's a real quick solo for me. If that's not jiving tonight.
I was going to say, it's never going to happen. But if you have the right tone, you can just hold that one note, and it's going to sound awesome.
I remember what was it? An article, I think it was Dave Mustaine. He said something to the effect of, from Megadeth, he said, David Gilmour gets more out of bending one note than all the scales I play all night long. And,
And there's something to be said for that, because while Roger Waters thinks Gilmour has no soul, the rest of us.
Well, Comfortably Numb, in an article the other day, what did it say? That Comfortably Numb was voted #1 rock guitar, guitar solo. It was funny reading the comments, because it's all relative to the song, in my opinion. So if you got the song and you need to insert solo, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
I think just regardless.
And with that particular album, The Wall, I believe that was the only song Gilmour actually wrote. The rest of the songs were Waters songs. So probably more of a like he wrote this song. He's
one of those solos that you hum along to. Like it's like Sweet Child of Mine. That you hum along to them. You know that it's a certain way.
So I have a little band with me and my wife who we play cover tunes, and
Sweet.
we're not great, but we have a
What's
good time.
your favorite song to play?
All of them. I don't even get to. It's the first band I've ever been in. I haven't picked one song. She tells me, "Hey, we're gonna play this, and we're playing Turnpike Troubadours. Get ready."
Okay.
I'm like, all right, whatever she picks, I just kind of go with it.
There you go.
It makes me. It stretches me out and makes me sing things I wouldn't normally sing. I would never pick this for myself.
Right.
But you brought up Comfortably Numb. We play Comfortably Numb. However, we only do it if there's a guitar player there to do the solo. We're not going to, if it's just the two of us, I don't do the solo. I'm just singing and strumming the chords.
Oh,
so if our,
sure.
if we don't have a guitar player there to play the solo, that's a song we just don't ever do because it's not the same. It's just, I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
it's just,
I mean, if you nerd out on guitar, you can get me on that tangent. We could talk days on guitars and guitarists and
there's
solos.
two solos in that song.
And that first one.
And both of them are pretty important to the song, but the first one is as important as the whole of the song.
It's like if you watch them live, I'm pretty sure, like they were saying that on the Pulse album is a really, like that was one of the most favorite versions of that song, but that first guitar solo is pretty memorable. And then he's got that, that second part where it's got those parts, but then that's where he kind of goes off and lets him like improvise, which is just a great chord progression also with what's going on in the background. And it's not too fast. That's why I always like some of that Floyd.
But it's rocking.
It's rocking.
It's still rocking. And that's one of the weird things about Floyd is their trick is
drummer was ripping at the end.
Floyd's biggest trick that they do on us is how slow can we do this, but this is still rock and roll. Because they're never in a hurry to do anything.
No hurries.
Even like the Nile or Young Lust, even some of their faster songs, more beats per minute kind of songs, they're still not, but one
of my
those guys are out of
all
sight.
time is David Gilmour, top five for sure.
And you hit a weird thing to me there that I talk about with guitar players, like where you say, well, he hits the certain parts of that second solo that you got to have, but then he has room to spread his wings. And I have a guy, Jeff Layer's his name. He comes down from Bloomington to play with us, and I give him props a lot because if we play a Tom Petty song, there's certain Campbell riffs that sell that song.
Yeah, Mike Campbell, I mean,
and oh, dude, that's just so he's amazing. He's just I could talk about him for days too. But he has a way of emulating that. You hear that, but it's still Jeff doing it.
Sure. That's always the goal.
He has a great way of giving you that hook that you need, but still everything around it is still is him, But and I'm like, dude, that is a beautiful trick to play. I wish I could do that.
Knowing when to play and when not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and when to do your own thing and when to go. This is the song. If I don't do this part.
And it was cool too. If you know Phil X, he's the session player. He was a session player. If you've never seen that, like it was a Netflix thing for a while. You can get it anywhere now. It's called Hired Gun. It's a cool documentary about the session players. Well, they covered Phil. Phil's actually took Richie Sambora's place in Bon Jovi now. So Phil is in he did awesome things during COVID, cool videos. Another freak on guitar, another one of those guys that's just put it into work. And he said, he would watch Richie's old tapes, and he said I would pay attention to when he stayed on. And the parts where there was a little bit loose time because then he was worried about like, what do I do? Do I overplay? So it was a cool story that he had because think about having to fill Richie Sambora's shoes.
Yeah, right. That's not easy.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's a great guitar player. Yeah. That was crazy. Cool story about that though. Like to your point of knowing when to kind of stick in and then knowing you had the freedom to kind of do your own thing and make it your own. So.
And bringing up Richie Sambora, this is a guitar player that I haven't sat and talked about a lot. Although I've actually seen him a bunch of times live, and I never really thought about it much. But there's a lot of time in Bon Jovi songs where he's sitting there and not even playing, and because there's these.
I heard he's got one of the best music deals ever in the history of music deals. So even better for him on some of those, he gets a rest, huh? And woof.
But he knows when to play, and he's playing for the song.
You have to have Anthony Nanny you have to have him on sometime. That'd be a fun.
Absolutely.
Be a fun talk. But you got to let him tell his Richie Sambora story for that. It was hilarious. Yeah, pretty. Anthony was the drummer, even though he plays guitar now. He's a soloist and plays in our band. Elevates any band he's in.
Right.
He can play every instrument, drums to guitar to singing to bass, and he is all over the place with any of that. But. Cool story. He was a drummer for Devin Allman. That was my point.
Oh, nice.
For Honey Tribe, I guess. So Anthony toured around and got to play drums and had Warren Haynes sit in with him one time. Yeah.
Nice.
So Warren Haynes was looking over his ride cymbal like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to meet Warren once, and it was almost intimidating just to even because I felt bad because the manager of the Dead brought him over to meet me as if it was something that and I you know what I mean. I feel bad because he was in the back room, just hanging out, and so I was just like, hey, do you got a house? And he laughed. He goes, yeah, but I don't know what color it is. He went over his tour schedule with me, and he played every day that year, but like 4 days. But there was 20 to 30 days that he had 2 gigs. I mean, dude, it was the most insane schedule I've ever seen in my life.
That almost sounds like Anthony Nanny's schedule, like him and Nate Sickmeyer, good buddies of mine that go, I don't play as much solo as gigs as those guys do. I've been fortunate in the last couple of years to kind of get into, playing some solo gigs here and there, new territory. But, you look at Anthony and Nathan's schedule, and it's just like, he'll be in Litchfield and then go to St. Charles and play, twice in a day.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we probably said those 2 names 1,000 times in 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, as we read this, speaking of that, what
rightfully so.
We haven't really
Anthony
gotten into
Nanny's playing on Friday at his home base almost, Fast Eddie's.
Yeah. And Nanners.
He's got the early slot. That's 1:30.
So he probably plays 1 to 5 or something to that effect, and then probably has something at 7:15 in Wentzville.
Right. Jump in the car.
Cross the line. Is that one of his bands?
Yeah, Nathan. So Nathan Sickmeyer is original of that, and then when you need, like a guy, you need something filled, you call Nanny. I mean,
right?
That's. He's amazing. That man could.
Sickmeyer's no slacker
No,
either.
But Nathan's already in that band, so if they needed somebody else, him and Nate in a band.
Between the two of them, they can cover pretty much whatever you want.
We played the Warehouse. We played the Johnson's Corner, the Marquette Kickoff this year outside, and so Waylon had one of his He has a Billy Joel tribute band that he plays in, and it's awesome, and they get a lot of good gigs and stuff. So he was off. So we had Nathan sit in on guitar, and then a week later we're playing Duck Pluckers, up in Brighton. We got Anthony Nanny sitting in with us. So same core and throwing those guys in, just.
Yeah, I would imagine when you see Anthony Nanny's playing at Fast Eddie's at a certain time, it could be probably 10 different bands that might show up and jam with him. You know what I mean?
And that says a lot about him. Too.
Yeah.
That really is I can't think anybody else when you look at their schedule and. Not just their schedule, what they're doing in each one of those shows, because it is not the same thing on 5 in a row. That's for I would bet. He's in the Outsiders. He's went from I kind of miss him on lead guitar, so we had a little lead guitar thing going, dual leads for 3 years. But with the switches around, Anthony plays bass now in that band, and it's just. To play country stuff correctly, you don't really. It's not the most.
It's not just fifths. It's more than just fifths.
You got to knowing your time and being an accomplished drummer already. Yeah. You having him on bass just fits right in too. So something different at each one of those shows. It's it is amazing.
Yeah, and when you have a bass player that also plays drums, a drummer that also plays bass. It just adds so much more to. They understand the whole of it
100%.
and lock in a little easier. But yeah, that's.
And then when you get a guy like playing with Jeff Walker. So Jeff, I can just firsthand is like a metronome back there when you need it to be on, and we're all going over tempos for songs. Playing, man, it's nothing like when you nail one at a good tempo. You're like, man, that was great, But having Anthony sit in on with those two guys, get out of here.
Right. Why do I even do this?
So I can watch this, sometimes.
What else we got going on?
We got Jay
on Friday
Hollinger out at Locke's Brick House on Friday night.
Friday night, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There's a good
7 to 10.
There's a good-looking man right there, handsome man, Jay Hollinger.
oh man. Well, I hope I earn my keep on Friday. So
Yeah,
great food too. I love eating up there too.
Yeah.
When we
yeah,
get done playing.
absolutely.
Chicken is amazing.
What else we got happening?
Well,
Shout out to George's too. You were talking about George's earlier.
George's
and stuff.
Brew, or George's up.
George's
yeah,
keeps us busy, and a lot of other, Andy Prain and Dustin running that place up there. Super awesome guys, and great place to go out and watch a solo artist these days.
Absolutely.
So I think Jay would be one to ask the question that we brought up recently about playing gigs, right? They offer you drinks sometimes when you play a gig, but we're thinking, it might be better to barter for some food when you play a gig at some of these places. Do you ever get paid with food? It's kind of rare. It's kind of rare.
I'm trying to, there's places that I would play for food for sure. That is absolutely on that. I would say.
I mean, like an extra, like on top
They
of.
do, yeah. We've been fortunate at a lot of places. When you play some of these, when we talk amongst ourselves about all that, it's amazing, like who you meet and the generous people that you meet that have had you into their house to play or trusted you with their event or, a million other things, weddings and, just private parties and just cool, intimate things you would, after you play them, you're like, wow, that was, and then the connections you make doing that, it's been amazing, it's amazing with that, but they've always offered food at all these places and, what do we have it? Andy Prain always, man,
I was
sends you
going to
home
say,
with something every
I could
time.
totally
Like,
see Andy saying, hey, what do you want to eat? But one of the ones we talk about is the Chop House up
Right.
in Edwardsville. It's
So, like, do you get a steak?
do you get a steak?
Right.
Because
Nathan would plays there, so that would be a good one to barter with.
I might be willing to take my equipment out if I get a steak.
And
I would write that on the tip jar, like this is all I'm trying to do tonight.
Right.
Like we can hit this would be great.
well,
$32.50, like that'd be awesome.
it covered a story once that I was playing a gig and they offered us free drinks and I don't drink, right? So I was like,
I'm with you when it comes to that on stage.
I don't really want drinks, but could I get one of those sandwiches? And they're like, no. You can have a shot if you want, but
Usually it's the other way. I thought it was the other way
minute.
around. It's like the liquor you always had to pay for. Like that's the one, the bottom line. Where you
Right.
But like
that's
could write
why it came up though. It's like
it's like, all right, well, give me the shot. I'm going to see if I can trade it for a sandwich out here.
half off. Okay, half a chicken wing.
Man.
What do we got here?
You brought up I can't remember who it was. Maybe the guys who own the honky tonk, but saying they were true supporters of music, and I knew exactly what you meant because sometimes when you're working for a manager of a club or an owner of the club, you know that they just want you to make them money. You know that they just want your band to bring in a crowd, and that's business. But when you have somebody who truly loves the music, that really, they want to pay the bills, but they want to see a hoedown tonight. It's great when you do come across, and it sounds like the owners of the honky tonk are those type of people. Like the guy who owned Jacob Myers down in Granite City. Everyone says, he cared more about the music than how much beer he's going to sell.
Yeah. I mean,
and those kind of people are the best to be around because that's going to be hootenanny.
Yeah,
now.
and it's just just deliberate country music. You know your job when you go there. You know what to you can about 80-20. We'll throw out a couple just request songs like you would in Nashville bar or something. It's not off the charts to be in Nashville. If you're ever in a Broadway, if you've ever been, there's a wide genre of stuff to be played. If they're throwing $100 out there, of course you got to play Stairway to Freebird.
Yeah, I've been down in Nashville and heard a girl pull out some Joan Jett. I mean, you just like you say.
You ever play down in Nashville, Jay?
Yeah. Who was I with? With Matt Tall. Yeah. Matt and I. Matt, we did a turn and burn. We call it when I drove down and played and came back that night. I've been lucky to play there. I've got to get up and play a couple times. I got to play at was it Full Moon Saloon. I got the guy. I had my Cardinals hat on, and the singer was out on a smoke break, and got to talking, and he's like, I'm not stingy with my stage. And Nick Cross, I think he still posts Nick Cross, yeah. Nice. And it was cool to get up with the house band in Nashville. Like,
absolutely,
sure.
Yeah.
And we did, from what I remember that night, we did Folsom. They knocked that out of the park, and they had a pedal steel player too. And then he let me play another one. He's like, nope, you get to do another one. Either he liked his break or we did all right.
Right.
Two, which I get, no, do another one, dude. Right. It's all good.
I don't care what the reason is. I get to do another one.
He's paying me a Jack and Coke. Go ahead. We did Whiskey River, and it was really cool. What I do remember, like musically with those guys, is playing that song and ending it like we had practiced it.
Right.
I ain't met, I don't know these guys from nothing. And just a tribute to the level. That was my only taste of real deal.
What it's like to stand up with some cats who are on par no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been at gigs like that where I've even at some of my own festivals, I've seen musicians introduced to each other as they go on stage together to play. Oh, by the way, this is Joe. He's playing, like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the session players down there.
I love that kind of
shout
stuff.
out to Tommy Carlos,
he's Tommy, coming to town to play Hathaway.
End of October.
Yeah. Hopefully we're going to get him on. We've had him on here before. Hopefully we're going to get him on to chat with us again.
Awesome guy, and man, good for him on what he's accomplished. I
definitely like jamming with you, Pigpen, so we're on par. I wouldn't want to let you outshine me or anything.
I don't think I outshine much.
No.
I'm pretty dull.
You still know the same.
That's how I feel sometimes with wailing on those guys. Where it's like, do your things. Nate knows.
Look,
I love how Pigpen talks. He's just a great talker.
Yeah, I have.
I've never seen him do the things he talks about, but he doesn't talk about them well.
There's something to be said about story time too, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm just trying to encourage everybody out there to talk more.
I would buy any book you narrated for sure. Like if you ever did an audio.
My favorite's when he tells us all about how to record, but he doesn't have any releases. So it's like I'm waiting for one of your releases.
I have a release every night. Full release.
My walls can talk.
I'm trying to live up to what Matt Van Voorhis requested, and that's some fake news. All right,
and I'm full of it. Give us some real news about what else is happening this weekend.
Well, we got the Donner Party String Band playing down at the Flock Food Truck, so I'm wondering what's on the menu at Flock.
I can take a guess if it's the Donner Party.
Playing 6 to 9. I did want to ask Jay, though, because it's been kind of eating at us since I seen he was playing down at Bubby and Sissy's, and we love it when we see venues, especially local venues, having music, and they don't normally have music. So that's kind of a new thing down there. Can you fill us in on?
Yeah, it's been just some local friends, good friends bought into it to keep it going. apparently, and music fans. And
Nice.
it's been amazing. It was I've had a great crowd down there. They've redone some of the stage areas, so it's really neat. If you put on like an intimate show, you wanted to do a songwriter thing or something, it's set up to have that like feel down there. It's really cool.
Nice.
It looks like a stage. It's not it's not super in depth, depth wise. So you wouldn't have like a full rockin' band in there, but if you had acoustic duo or trio or something going
kind of
in
like George's stage up there.
George's is awesome too.
You can fit a couple people up there, but you're not putting a drum set up there.
No, but you are looking down at some good meals all night long. I'm gonna tell you what. Right?
Yeah,
first time I played there, it was like, it's like they ain't messing around up at George's.
When my buddy Stewie Graham Pagano plays up there, I flip corn at him and stuff. I don't do that. Anyway,
he could probably still keep playing too. That's a shout out to Graham for sure too. Good band.
Yeah. So what else?
He's
we
playing
got
up at Aries on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah. What else we got going? Well, City Heat's out at the VFW from 7 to 11. Jake Houlihan Band, I mentioned they're doing the second half of Fast Eddie's 7 to 11. And then, of course, Bushfest is starting Friday night and going into Saturday. And we went over that lineup. A little bit of changes in that one. Just some moving people around, like the Peace Lords were going to play like at 10:30, and now they're going to move up to 8:30, and Owen Weber's going to take the 10:30 slot. But on Friday night, you got the Mad Baileys and Sufficek, right? And Liver Jones and the Flatworms.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Right,
Yeah.
and Spilly Nelson going to wrap it up
yeah.
on Friday
There you
night.
go.
So, yeah, good night one for Bush Fest, and two nights of that.
Absolutely.
So we'll get to that in just a second. Dueling Pianos out at Bakers and Hell. We mentioned Jay Hollinger out at Locke's Brick House on
Yep.
Friday night. Let's see, Instant Replay doing Big Daddies on Friday. Dale Hanna doing the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville from 5 to 8. And shout out once again to the legendary Butch Moore for posting on his personal page the list of who's playing at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, because that's a great place to check
Yeah.
out music.
Used to play there, back in the day, for sure.
It's kind of a listening room more than,
Sure.
some bars, right? You got a room to talk in, and you got a room to listen to the band in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the
And
rule
it's-
used to be no Beatles, no Beatles. He and I want to hear Beatles,
Yeah.
like that. That was that's a 20-something year memory here, but yeah.
Not even Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
Especially
Sound
not Yellow Submarine.
Yeah. His name was Tim. Yeah, old Tim. Yeah.
What else we got?
Well, that's I can name some more on Friday, like Double Tap at the Cabin at Judy Creek from 7 to 11. Chris Ryan doing George's Pub and Grill in Jerseyville on Friday, and Jim Mager doing Aries in Grafton from 3 to 7. I can't even say the name of this guy right here. PRSHA. How would you say that? Unless that's a typo.
What's the?
George is his first name. It's PRSHA. But he's playing with Brian Tobin and Josip Kappen at Long Shots down at Fairmont Park in Collinsville. They've been firing things up. The band feel they'll be in Chicago on Friday.
Oh man,
yeah,
Nice.
awesome. Yeah.
And on Saturday night we got Naked Soul at Fast Eddie's at 1:30, and then Up All Night at 7 to 11 at Fast Eddie's. Rum Boogie doing the Alton Moose from 7 to 11 on Saturday, and Money Shot out at Bakers and Hale from 7 to 11.
Bakers
and
and
then,
Hale.
yeah, you played there a few times.
Yeah, we played last Saturday with the Warehouse band, and it's just amazing they added that whole section onto that, and the stage is more than accommodating for any size band that you're having in there. It was a shout out to those guys. I mean, for like making that a cool spot, and everybody's got a little breathing room up there, and
It's a nice stage they put in.
One of your favorite food stops too.
I
You
can
used to go on and on about that cheese they put on
Well,
there.
the bacon jam.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I can almost stagger home from there. Like I could probably just like roll out of there and make it somehow.
yeah. Shout out to Bakers for sure.
Yep. What else we got? That's night 2 of Bushfest, right?
Mark and the Angry Hearts kicking off both nights now.
Oh, nice.
So,
Okay.
yeah, there's a new one in there for a Saturday at noon, and then a multi-band jam at 12:50 to fill in for, I think it was Bog, who they had listed originally.
Okay.
And then it's pretty much the same, Cerebral Anomaly and Psychedelic Symphony and Matthew Murder and Like a Switch and Scott Andrews and Cricket and the Grilled Avocados and
Yep.
Datura and Hooky and 1781 and Modern Pasta.
Wow, nice. That's a lot right there. That's a solid lineup
You
right
had me
there.
at pasta for sure. That's for sure.
Matt Tall's doing George's Pub and Grill on Saturday,
Shout out to Matt.
6 to 9, and Tanglefoot doing the Loading Dock 3 to 6, Toxic Johnny at the Hog Pit 2 to 5, Ibis John's at Grafton Winery 3 to 7, Melissa Joan Heartless at the pub in Grafton from 7 to 11, Carl Mager at the Terrace
Carl,
at
good
Aries,
friend. Yeah,
right?
love Carl.
And Pity Thy Neighbor at the Bloody Bucket Saloon from 7 until 10. It's a rat run weekend. So the bikes will be out cruising around Grafton and into Portage de Sioux, right, where they have a big party up there for the rat run. And Jaybird, he's playing at Sam's Last Chance Saloon. That's a former Corner Tavern.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah. You know him?
Yeah. I went by Jaybird a couple times. Yeah.
Jaybird flew through earlier. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Jaybird landed. Look, there he is. There he is, right
Yeah.
there. Don't scare him away.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So,
you're a busy man this weekend.
yeah.
You got a lot going on, don't you?
Yeah, it's been September, we had every weekend booked and a couple back-to-back nights. And I got Friday and Sunday. I'm playing a party over in St. Louis on Sunday, a little solo gig. So yeah, it's kind of a fun of it,
You were
fun
a
weekend.
busy man.
That's a good thing. Yep, I'm playing music with some awesome people. So yep,
Hookie is playing Wolfstock on
those guys
Saturday.
are awesome.
Wolfstock is for the Metro East Humane Society.
Okay. Awesome.
What else would you call it? Wolfstock, right?
That
That's
sounds
at
perfect.
Minor Park in Glen Carbon. Hookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
The Stones are down in Granite City at the mill.
Okay.
Music City
What
Stones.
Stones?
Oh.
Music City
Hey,
Stones.
I've heard really good things about
I-
the Music City Stones.
I was going to say I've heard that they bring the show. I have not actually got to catch that show yet, but
Right.
I'm going to have to get out there and check it out.
We got Pumpkin Fest at Barrel and Brew in Edwardsville with the fabulous Freebirds.
You had me at Pumpkin Fest.
Right. And the kids, Merge 5. They're playing at 5 p.m. at the High Point in Edwardsville. Those are amazing kids, man.
You know what though? I'm not taking away from these amazing kids, but what did you just say? The Fabulous Thunderbirds? Is that what you
The
just said?
fabulous Freebirds. It's not epic wrestling. It's a band.
Okay,
Fabulous
yeah,
Freebirds.
yeah.
It's not
For
Michael Haynes and Terry Gordy. It's not that. Freebird.
for just a second, I thought it was Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother coming to town.
That's the Thunderbirds.
Jimmy Ray Vaughan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough enough, right?
The Dude Abides, they're playing at the Press House. That's the old Harold Brewery
Nice.
down in Collinsville. And the Listen Brothers playing this weekend at the
Wow.
pageant was Sarah Shoemake following it
Oh,
up
Sarah,
at 10 o'clock.
another grinder over these years.
And Danny and Pat Liston, those boys,
Oh, yeah.
man, they can play, they can sing, and they can write songs. So they got it. They call that the hat trick, the trifecta.
You
Hey,
think the Grateful Dead's ever played a barbershop?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Darius Spangler's going to follow with that at noon at the Anderson Barbershop at Old Milton School on Sunday.
All right, cool.
It's like a big event for them.
So this begs the question: would you play for a free haircut?
I don't think I
they
would.
do good work. Not that I can talk recently, but yeah.
I think a lot of musicians might avoid a barbershop. I think you would.
Well, it's not just because I'm a musician. I'm just lazy and I'm just lazy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you
really.
knew if you went out back in the day, you caught Fletch, you're getting a flat top. So you better.
And honestly, calling you a musician, that's fake news right there. That's
Strong
Matt
language for
Vanvor's
sure.
is fake news you wanted.
Yeah,
so.
there it is. There's the fakest news we've heard yet.
Hey, speaking of a legend, Billy Peak is playing in Grafton
yeah.
on Sunday.
That
so
guy's for real. That's for real right
2-6.
there. Whew. There's,
Yeah.
So you
that
can check
goes-
out Graham Pagano and Billy Peak right
Oh,
next
wow.
to each other. Yeah.
Nice. That's
So,
good.
yeah, Graham's at Aries and Billy's at Grafton Winery.
Oh, I thought you meant playing together. I thought they were playing on the same
No.
They
bill.
should.
No, but if we can, I would love to see them wrestle afterwards.
Yeah.
Like a Thunderdome,
From the
two
top-
man or one
From the
man
top
leave situation.
turnbuckle.
How about Walter Trout? He's a legend in his
Oh,
own
absolutely.
world, right? He's
Yeah.
playing the Wild E.
Oh wow! I didn't
So,
even see that.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Blood Brothers are playing Friday and Saturday, and then Walter Trout on Sunday, I believe. If I'm looking at this right.
All right.
So there you go. And there's tons more. And if you want to
Yeah.
follow along, you go to cottonmouth.org. We keep the complete list there, list of venues. If you're looking for a place to play, you can go here and find out, kind of what they book at all these venues that we mentioned each and every week on here, thanks to Halpin Music Company and Mr. Matt Van Voorhis of,
Oh, great. Both of those guys.
yeah.
John and
I actually use cottonmouth.org a lot because my wife will say, "Let's go out to dinner. Who's
Yeah.
got music?" And it's so easy to go, "Who's got music?" I can tell you. Within seconds, I know most of the gigs that are going on around here.
And
it's
you
good
know,
to see,
I met a guy who uses cottonmouth.org to find out where not to go listen to music while you're eating dinner. I mean, so it works in
Fair
every
enough.
direction,
It-
right?
it does.
He's like, I don't really like music while I'm eating for whatever reason, right? It's like, okay,
I like
well,
instrumental while I'm eating a salad,
I only listen to smooth jazz while I eat.
Yeah, Only smooth jazz. Yes.
Oh my God.
Steak afterwards. Yeah.
But after that, bring me Sabbath.
Yeah. Oh,
man.
that's great.
Yeah,
you
but
know
like
what,
we
though?
mentioned in the past, it's a little worksheet for bands and musicians and everybody who's looking. There's places to get your music played, different internet radio stations, stuff like that we've come across over the years. Everything we have learned from all the musicians over the last 10 years, we try to provide links there, and it's a real simple page to load. There's no pictures, there's none of that, just links.
That's why I very rarely actually go there.
And it goes very
No
fast.
pictures.
Well, you got plenty in your browser.
You think you're so smart because you can read.
He says, I get to see every day in 3D, right? Yeah.
Oh, hey, man. So that's a great resource, actually, for the bands, too, like we say. If you're looking for a gig, if you're in a band looking for a gig, pages and pages of place to play.
Or if you're
Links.
looking to book a band.
If you're looking to book a band, there's pages and pages of bands.
Because the main
that
thing you
stuff.
get out of this, if you think about it, is the venues that advertise their shows. That's listed there almost every week.
Yeah.
And the bands who advertise their shows.
Yeah, so there
That's
you go.
how I find out about them. And you'll see there's some that are left blank because they don't put who's playing there every week. So I leave it that way, and they may a lot of places wait till the day of to put up who's playing.
Yeah.
Which I think's a mistake, because from what I've learned about algorithms, it takes a couple days to get that.
Sometimes it
message to
does, and
people.
that's I've noticed that being a little bit of a hurdle when it comes to I need to be better at advertising, and when it comes to the social media part of it, but you don't know if it's gonna.
When I started playing guitar, I didn't know I'd have to be good at social media to make it work.
Where was David Gilmour worried about any of that? In that comfortably numb stuff.
Never.
His guitar.
That's why he's comfortably
advertising.
numb. There was no social media.
Yeah. When you play solos like that, you don't have to advertise.
No.
The word gets around.
People hear about you.
Every phone would be on him right now if they were in the stadium, kicking into that solo.
Yeah, and that again, we could sit and talk guitar players all night, because that's it's
Even local ones.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, it's hilarious,
We've talked
For sure.
about it.
When you brought up Paul Steinbrook, he always mentions Mike Reedy.
And just speaking to great guitar players, I was on the phone the other day with John Mondine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that dude, what can't he play? Like seriously,
For sure.
Ask him to play a song, he's gonna be like, all right, yeah, I mean, and there's
a lot of them.
We've had this discussion in the past 10 years. We've had this show going for almost 10 years now.
Nice.
So we
Congrats.
sit and discuss this ridiculousness every week, and it is like, we've had so many musicians from St. Louis, big players in St. Louis, come over, and when they see what we got going on this side of the river, they go, wait, we don't have that many gigs over on our side of the river.
And we were grafting to Granite City, basically.
Yeah, and the thing is, not saying St. Louis doesn't have a great scene going on, but there's something about us over on this side. We're right that place where the river goes north. We're
That's
right at
right.
the bend of the river. And
We're the
everything gets
home of rock and roll,
No,
man.
we are the
Chuck
home of
Berry
rock and
was
roll.
on stage with Johnny Johnson New Year's Eve, first gig, and the rest is history.
And
he wrote his own songs and played guitar like a ringing a bell.
Man, I saw Chuck play up. Somebody got him up at Fast Eddie's years ago when we were back in our bartending days, and it was a funny story because it's like, that's Chuck Berry. Walking in, he had his jacket. He had this like a certain jacket that he would wear, and he had his hat. There was a certain hat that he wore, and the funny thing about it was, the band asked him to play something, and he was with his family, I believe. From what we noticed as bartenders, it was kind of, you could tell he was, man, I'm just chilling today, cool. Which, shout out to musicians, like when they say that, they mean it. If there's any question about that, like respect what people say when they say stuff like that. I would say
it's my day off, man.
They put him on the spot.
Oh,
They still got him up there, and the funny thing I remember is that they got Chuck Berry up there, and they didn't have a guitar player in the band. I just noticed that they were drums, and a singer, or it was a keyboard, drums, and a singer so you put Chuck Berry on the spot to come up and play, and you don't even have a guitar player.
Oh, wow.
And He played a song on the piano. He just
Oh,
he got
wow.
up there, obviously knew what he was,
That would have been worth seeing right there.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, I would almost rather see that,
Yeah.
and just because it would be so
sure.
unique. That not that I wouldn't.
Played
but,
a lot
we-
of shows over here, though, at the
we-
Bell, just like Ike and Tina.
Yeah.
Ike and Tina Turner played right in this area. So
Well, and that's
Home
what
of
we've-
rock and roll.
I was going to say that's what we've determined in the past 10 years is that rock and roll was invented right along this little stretch of the river, going right up to Washington Park, where you've got Johnny Johnson and the meld of Johnny Johnson and Chuck Berry, and then you throw Ike
All those
Turner.
blues players.
You throw Ike Turner.
You've been down in
creating
Mississippi with
distortion.
your roots. You know where we've been. My family grew up around that area with the crossroad.
Delta,
right?
yeah.
Mississippi Delta. That's one shout out.
We
to my-
talk about it all the
my
time
mom.
that the reason St. Louis is such a big deal in the blues scene is like all those guys were poor and they were trying to make it to Chicago where Chess Records was, right? They got paid when they got to St. Louis so they could get a meal.
Everywhere else, they just got dinner.
Yeah.
But when they get to St. Louis, you get dinner and paid.
And then guys like Big George Brock Sr. putting clubs out
clubs,
there,
yeah, that actually
Chuck,
paid the
Chuck
guys.
putting clubs out there, and
If you don't watch out these days, you'd be getting dinner, paid, and then you might come out and your stuff's gone. Like,
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You boys drank a lot of beer.
yeah, you come out, the whole trailer's emptied.
All right. So, yeah, but it's been a fun ride the past 10 years.
Heck yeah.
Chasing that. Okay, so where did rock and roll really start?
Well, we
and
figured it out.
we're
not backing down.
I was going to say we are miles away from
It started
the
in
actual
Cahokia
birth
Mounds
of it.
back in like I don't know
when the giant
BC.
and there
Right.
were, yeah.
you know they had some festivals there.
Oh heck yeah, man!
Yeah,
That
they had
was- that was the
Sanskrit
Mecca.
LED walls for their concerts. Yeah.
Then you got MRF, and we haven't even mentioned our favorite Bonnie Bramlett,
Bonnie
born in
Bramlett,
Alton,
born right here in
raised
Alton,
in Granite,
and very
first
few-
white Ike
only white eye
Rocket 88.
Rock-
Just to shout out rock and roll once again.
and
Distortion.
Yeah, but Chuck,
Ike and Tina.
Ike pretty much came up with distortion on. It was an accident, but he pretty much was the reason for that to start. I mean, that's what I'm saying, and that's East St. Louis. That's all right here.
It is.
And so many people don't even, like Chuck Berry did rock and roll. Yeah, but no, rock and roll it was a conglomeration of quite a few folks around here, but it was all right here.
Yeah, well, I don't think the
all the-
folks in East St. Louis really are big in promoting their city.
No, well, yeah, well, I mean, that's cool.
Probably for other reasons, but I don't know.
I'm all right with it, whatever they want to do.
Be quiet. We might get shot.
Well,
I mean,
not me. I'm heading there to the clubs right after this. Don't tell my wife. Actually, tell her. She's going to want to know where I'm at.
And it's also one of those things, you never know. Like, those gigs you pull up, and you're like, oh, this is going to be, and it's like,
It's the greatest gig
it's
ever.
unreal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been surprised numerous times over the years. Not that it was, but just,
Yes.
it's not always what you see,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is exactly why we promote live music, because you never know what you're going to see when you show up.
Or meet, and the people that come up and request songs and just people that you meet, just doing that and talking music with other music fans and trying to put your head together and go to the memory bank and play a song for them that they, like,
Quick, somebody pull up the chord chart.
yeah, I couldn't read that if I had to. Like, I'd have to, the guys know that. They just have to call that out for Grandpa Jay. Yeah.
Just start playing. I'll figure it out, boys.
Yeah.
right.
Know when not to play, right? Yeah, that volume will come up towards about midway through the song. Oh, we got this.
Oh,
Shouting
hey.
out all my bad habits of.
Oh, man.
It's been too long, Jay. It's been too long.
I
since we've
appreciate
had
it. Yeah, it was
you on.
always good talking with you guys.
And
Thank
when we were talking the other day, I said, "Man, it's been years since you've been on." And you said, "Has it?" And I said, "Well, I don't know, but
It was
I'm
the very
guessing
beginning.
because it really it all goes by so fast.
Yeah.
It's the blink of an eye because
We're shocked. We're going on 10 years. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it feels like we've done a few of these shows, but not that many. But
Yeah.
hey, man, you know what? Again, a booming music scene, and we've had all kinds of authors, artists. We've had a lot of different people on, but 90% of what we do here is music
Right.
because that's who I know. So that's
Stay in your
who I
lane,
call.
right? You got that.
I mean, yeah.
now we got to connect to Anthony Nanny, who we wanted to have on forever.
Man,
Yeah.
So Jay can whisper in his ear, you got to go hang out with these guys. They're a blast. If he has any time off.
Yeah, you catch him on. Yeah, catch him on. Yeah, no
And
doubt.
tell him I'm not as handsy as my reputation says. I mean, I'm going to get a little handsy under the table, but
Hey.
not that bad.
See, we've had Lyndon Sickmeyer on, but not Nate Sickmeyer. There's another one we've had on our list forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate's got it. His whole rock style. I mean, it's like when you're playing, you can look over and be like, "Hit a solo, Nate." Like, and, hey, hit it, Nanny. Like, it's hey, Waylon. Like watching those guys, geek out on their stuff.
Waylon's never been on.
Waylon Jennings?
No.
He's got his shirt. He does wear his Waylon Jennings shirt sometimes.
Come on.
That's my buddy.
I'm sorry, man.
Well, you do a great job booking our guests. So.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for doing it too. I'm sure they had just as much fun as I do, and it's cool to have that outlet for you guys to talk fun. Just have good insights on the local players, and
Well, I
on
think
all
it
the
gives a
history. I love your
different-
history. Like your knowledge base. It's amazing.
Well, I think you get a different perspective too, because like we all go see bands, but we don't know who they really are. We just know the songs they're playing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like being in a band. You don't visit. You play music and then you go home, right?
Yeah, might
So,
bump each other at
next-
Schnucks or something. Hey, what's up?
Next time you see Matt Tall, you know a story about Matt Tall while you see him play. So, and Jay
Matt's a-
Hollinger told it to us, so we'll give him the blame. on
Matt's a
this one.
robot, man. Matt can roll
sure.
out 3 hours like nobody's business.
He played 5 to 9 or something like that the other day, and I told my wife when we showed up, I said, the band will get a break. Matt will not. And in the somewhere like 4 hours into it, he nodded at the band, and they kicked into a little dun 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 dun, dun, and he ran to the bathroom. He jogged, did his business, and jogged back up to the stage, only smiling and waving as he passed, because if he's got that much time to play, he wants to play every second of that time.
He's got the song, he's got the songs to pull from too. Whether he wants to go on the cover
So
route
good,
or
so good.
all his
Yeah.
catalog of songs that been fortunate enough to play alongside of him over the years. With the Five and Dimer stuff and beyond that.
I was going to say, going back to the early stuff, Folkhead, Stubble. I mean,
He's got stuff now. I heard in the basement.
He's
the
just
other
a
night.
good songwriter. Is what it
Matt's
comes
great.
down to
Yeah.
it. So it doesn't matter what era you choose, you're going to find nothing but some good stuff
Matt's
going on. So
Remember that time you
mentor to a
jammed
lot of
with
people.
Zach Wild?
I
That was a great story.
Yeah. Mississippi Nights.
He wouldn't get off
Yeah.
the stage.
Well, hey Jay, thanks so much again
Yeah,
for coming
thank you guys.
down. Yeah,
It
man,
was fun.
It's good,
It was fun
good
catching up
times
with y'all.
Everybody, get out. Warehouse Project. Where you at again?
Oh man, I'd have to look. We do our yearly ranch house gig up on Guy Road at the end of February.
So if we search for Warehouse Project and we find information on where you're playing, where's it?
Yeah, we try to post on the social medias. Like we'd probably be better.
all of
on
them,
our
or
ends.
one in specific, like Facebook's your favorite, or
we would probably post on the Warehouse Facebook page.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
So with October, November come up, we have a couple things, but yeah, we were fortunate to play some good gigs. We just had about 5 or 6 in a row, and Locke's Brick House on Friday, and
Yeah, there it is. I was going to say, you're getting ready to play somewhere. Where is it?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember it. It's Log Brick House.
yep, I think I
There it
had
is.
another
See?
Bubby and Sissy's on like October 12th.
I think so, yeah.
on a
Nice.
Sunday. It's a nice 2 to 5 gig. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was amazing. Like, yeah.
There you go.
So and then the Outsiders is every third Saturday of the month at the Honky Tonk STL right down there by the stadium and Broadway Oyster Bar and all that.
Yeah.
So super awesome people.
Man, that,
George's, love playing George's.
George's is always a good time.
Yeah, Andy's great.
Yeah, Andy's an awesome guy.
Well, we're gonna have we're gonna do a duo up there sometime. You guys just Andy's like, yeah, just book it up. He's like, let's get weird. Yeah, let's get weird. Hey man, do you care if Waylon comes up? Let's get weird. Let's go. All right.
I'm getting mushrooms on my steak.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, let me know beforehand. We'll custom, we'll tweak the set list a little bit.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
You'll see it in my eyes. My eyes spinning like pinwheels, bro. All right.
Well, I appreciate the hospitality. Thank you guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks everybody. Check them out. Warehouse Project, and again, the Outsiders every third Saturday at the
Oh, and then
Honky Tonk.
Nathan Sickmeyer and I are Bon Air on the 15th. I believe it's a Wednesday at Fast Eddie's too. So yeah, I get to play with Nate on our rotation again.
So
There.
sometimes when we see Nate's name or Anthony's name, you might be involved in that.
You never know sometimes with
Right.
some of this stuff. Like
Right.
like to say you can't go wrong, but like, speaking of those guys, for sure you couldn't.
Right.
Either one of those guys shows up.
Right.
We're good.
Hey, thanks again for coming down, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Big thanks to Matt Van Voorhis of Macias Insurance and German Insurance. Big thanks to Halpin Music. Those guys
John
been.
Hand.
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Hand, a handy man. And
Super awesome guy.
thanks to you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pigpen, the star of the show.
If there's a dark star, that would be me, the dark star.
Here's
Hey,
your fake news, Matt.
fake news,
There
fake
you
news.
go.
Hey,
Right.
Here's some real news. Everybody, whatever you're going to do, get out and support local music and art.
We appreciate it.